Most people are going to want to know my evaluation of Shedeur Sanders. Favorable. Favorable. I thought he looked like he belonged.
You're tuned in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, guiding your gridiron journey, none other than your host, former NFL lineman, Ross Tucker.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. It is a Monster Monday that I am recording in my hotel room here in Vegas on Sunday night before heading to the airport to take the red eye back to the East Coast. You know why? Because I love you guys, and I want you to have this show for your morning commute or early morning like you normally have it. I don't know when I'll get home, 8:30, 8:45, hopefully in time to record College Draft with my guy Emery Hunt, who had a winning week, by the way, on the College Draft betting college football. I am in the midst of an epic week on the Even Money Betting Podcast. I almost don't want to jinx it. We'll talk about that on Tuesday's Even Money Betting Podcast. For right now, for those of you that are new, probably a lot of YouTube folks, youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. Every Monday, I'll give you my overarching themes from the Sunday that was in the NFL, and then the 2 or 3, let's call them takeaways from every game. The only things you really need to know moving forward. It's Big Show time.
The Big Show.
All right, Ross, what were your overall themes from Week 12 across the NFL so far?
I think the one that jumps out, because I was watching these games getting ready for my game, which was the Raiders and the Browns, incredible, much-needed comeback wins. Think about the Chiefs and how desperate they were to get a win, and they get it done in overtime. The Lions. I mean, if the Chiefs lose to the Colts at home, the Chiefs have a losing record going into Week 13 in the NFL? That would have been insanity. The Lions had to go to overtime to beat the New York Giants, the 2-win New York Giants. That would have been insane. But the Lions get it done. The Patriots were trailing the Bengals by double digits. They came back to win. And maybe the one that takes the cake, the Dallas Cowboys, down 21-0, looking like essentially the season was over, right? I mean, like, they lose that game, the season's pretty much over. We all know it. They're down 21-0. They're looking like a comedy show at that point. And then the Dallas Cowboys come all the way back to win in regulation against the Eagles 24-21. Just kudos to Brian Schottenheimer and that team. There's no quit in that Cowboys bunch. And now at 5-1, they're in the mix to maybe even sneak in and get a playoff berth. So that was massive, massive. So the comeback wins were big. There wasn't very many blowouts. I mean, you look across the board, Ravens end up winning by 2 scores, but the Jets had the lead in that game. A lot of one-score games. Other than that, Packers, Vikings, not so much. Unfortunately for me, mine wasn't as much. Mine was a 2-score game, but all the other ones were 1-score games until Sunday Night Football. It was also a really big day for defensive lineman T.J. Watt. Passed his brother. Quinnen Williams has made a major impact for the Cowboys. Laiatu Latu had that incredible pick 6. And then my game, where the Browns had 10 sacks. Now, the Raiders' offensive line is rough. I mean, rough. But you still got to get them. You still got to earn them, and that's exactly what the Cleveland Browns did. I guess the only other thing that jumped out to me, it was fun to watch them, Jack, while I'm, in the stadium. The trick plays. I mean, the Jameis throwback, and then he threw it to Wan'Dale Robinson. The Jameis touchdown catch reception, that's one of the most hilarious plays I've seen in years. That was amazing. Like, he's breaking tackles. He's spinning out of it. Jameis is slow. Like, Jameis is not an athlete. That was incredible. The fake tush push by the Steelers, I feel like the fake tush push might be one reason why they keep it. Some of the most fun plays the last couple of weeks have been fake tush pushes. So those are some of the ones I think, Jack, that stood out to me. Also, a lot of backup quarterbacks playing again. I mean, you go down the line, it's like Mason Rudolph, Tyrod Taylor, Jameis Winston, Joe Flacco. You know, it's remarkable. Jacoby Brissett, Shedeur Sanders. How many backup quarterbacks are out there? More great stuff right after this. A lot of Black Friday deals out there for stuff, let's be honest, won't really elevate your lifestyle. You know what would? A new bathroom remodel, a tub to shower conversion, window or door replacements, any of the things that my friends over at westshorehome.com/Ross. Plus, they've got limited time savings from their Black Friday sale, free installation on all projects. Plus, just for you guys listening or watching this show, you get an extra $500 off your project when you schedule your free consultation now at westshorehome.com/Ross. Check out that site to lock in your exclusive savings. westshorehome.com/Ross. Plus, I know a lot of you are curious about the before and after pictures from my house with the projects I've done. See website for details. westshorehome.com/Ross. I don't understand the science. Maybe it's because they're originally from Canada, but Labatt beer tastes even better in the winter. It is so good. And with Buy Beer, Get Gear from Labatt, just go to the website, snap a photo of your receipt, upload it instantly to rack up points for exclusive merch. You can get points for every purchase at any store, bar, stadium, any size, any product. It doesn't matter. Anywhere you're buying Labatt. Buy Beer, Get Gear. Go to rewards.labattusa.com to sign up.
All right, Ross, we're going to move into each of the games. We're going to start with Baltimore. They win their 5th straight. They're now 6-5, 23-10 win.
What's weird about it is they didn't really play that well. They didn't look that good, especially offensively. Something weird is going on with Lamar Jackson. I don't know if he's more injured than they're letting on, but he has not played very well, even during this winning streak. You know, they got a couple touchdowns from Derrick Henry, not like he had a huge game. Zay Flowers had some nice run after catch, but it was more the Jets kind of imploding, you know, when they went for it. The Jets, the more they get the ball to Breece Hall, the better. I thought Tyrod Taylor did give them a better chance to win, even though they only scored 10 points in the game. And, I mean, look, he's out there throwing to John Mechie, who was like the 5th or 6th receiver for the Eagles, and A.D. Mitchell. I mean, those are the guys that Tyrod's throwing it to. But this thing with Lamar Jackson is probably the biggest takeaway to keep an eye on, because it just seems like something is not quite right there.
Next up, the Bears. They held on against the Steelers. They're 8-3, 31-28 win.
Well, that was massive. Absolutely massive for the Bears. You know what? We'll talk about it more, Jack, tomorrow when I do power rankings, but I'm kind of the mindset at this point that the Bears are just good. You know? I mean, I'm tired of fighting, you know, I can't fight the feeling. Oh, man, that was bad. I'm tired of fighting the feeling about the Bears. They just win. You know, I mean, Mason Rudolph was good on underneath stuff, but was not able to do much down the field. The Bears were without all of their linebackers, and then 2 more got hurt. Thankfully for them, Jaquan Brisker made a big play. Montez Sweat was able to do what he needed to do, getting a couple sacks. And it wasn't great for Caleb Williams again. I mean, that fumble for a Steelers touchdown was horrendous. The TJ Watt breaking the record thing. But you know what he did? He just kept battling, led them on 3 touchdowns, which they needed. DJ Moore when they needed it. And the Bears simply find a way to win these games, which is all that matters. I'm telling you right now, I'm moving the Bears up in the power rankings. It's too many games now. They find a way.
New England, they got a tough road win in Cincinnati, 26-20 Patriots win.
I was not expecting this game to necessarily be this competitive with no Burrow and no Chase. Drake May throwing that pick six to Geno Stone certainly helped, but it was ugly. I mean, Drake May was good. I mean, maybe not fantastic. He's just solid though. 22 of 35, 294 yards. Other than the pick six, it was a fine performance. Didn't feel like the Patriots ran it as well as they had been. I guess I'll give Al Golden and the Bengals defense some credit. They've been, I don't know, serviceable might not even be the right word, but they've been better. Let's call them better the last couple weeks. That pick six by Flacco to Marcus Jones really, really hurt. They were right there, and this is another one of these games. If you think about it, any of these last few games by the Bengals, if they had won any of these, they would be in a much, much better position than they are right now, unfortunately, where it feels like they're going to play Joe Burrow in a season that is over.
Next up, another big win. This one, the Lions. Overtime win against the Giants. We kind of talked about a little bit earlier, 34-27.
And I'm just telling you right now, this is arguably the game of the day in terms of entertainment value. And there are several places I could have gone in terms of the 11 Oaks hungriest performance of the week. But I'm going with Jahmyr Gibbs. I bet you Jahmyr Gibbs would love some genuine Wagyu beef, Angus beef, heritage breed pork, free-range chicken. All of it, Jahmyr, is locally raised and available nationwide online. 11oaksfarms.com/Ross. What a terrific holiday gift. Maybe you can get it in time for Thanksgiving. 11oaksfarms.com/Ross. Jahmyr Gibbs is and was on a mission in this game, and he is this season. That guy is electric. That's the type of running back that you take that high. People that criticize the Lions for taking him 12 overall, they were right. He should have gone higher because he's that impactful. It's he put that team on his back to win the game. I said this last week in their game against Philly. He plays at a different speed than anybody else out there on the field. It is breathtaking to watch. And the reality is, Jack, the Lions needed every ounce of it. Goff was sacked a bunch. Again, several drops for the Lions, which you don't often see. Now, the Lions still had 500 yards. The problem for the Lions is their defense has not been good enough. They were pretty good against Philly, but in this game, it felt like the Giants were moving the ball almost at will against them. That one interception by Jameis, the full Jameis experience, was especially costly, and this was a win they absolutely had to have. I mean, man, with the drops and with everything that happened, for the Lions to still get this win, kudos to mainly Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, it was mainly him was the reason why they won, and then Aiden Hutchinson was able to help him call game late.
Minnesota's offense, they just couldn't get going in a 23-6 Packers win.
You know what's interesting? I've seen people hitting up my social media, Jack, at Ross Tucker NFL, saying Ross Tucker was right about J.J. McCarthy. No, I wasn't. I never said anything about J.J. McCarthy. I didn't know if he was going to be awesome or terrible. I had no idea. My point was the Vikings had some concern that they weren't totally sold. Otherwise, they would not have paid him. They would not have tried to pay Daniel Jones that much money to stay. And guess what? They were right. They were right to try to pay Daniel Jones that much money to stay because McCarthy right now is not giving them a chance to win. Now, it doesn't help. I don't think the offensive line played great. Micah Parsons is getting after him. Parsons had a great game. Devontae Wyatt. How about, by the way, that safety, Evan Williams? I love that dude. Green Bay's defense played very well. Vikings couldn't do anything. Meanwhile, offensively for the Packers, it wasn't like a big Jordan Love game. And even without Josh Jacobs, I think they realized they could just kind of ground and pound, primarily with Emmanuel Wilson, and get the win. Wilson's a banger, but he did exactly what the Packers needed to get that big win going into Thanksgiving in Detroit.
Chiefs, they pull off the comeback in overtime against the Colts with a 23-20 win.
You know, what's crazy about this comeback is the Chiefs were the better team. It felt like the Chiefs were dominating the action, but they weren't because of the pick six by Latu and the Chiefs settling for field goals over and over again. But the Chiefs were moving the ball the whole game, and the Chiefs' defense really did the job against the Colts offensively. This is now the third game in a row, I think, where the Colts offensively haven't really been that great, which is something I believe to make note of. You know, where it's like, I don't know about the Colts with the way their offense has not been performing as well as they were earlier. But the key was Mahomes, of course, you know, Rashee Rice having those catches. Kareem Hunt obviously had the big fumble that he was not happy about. But Rashee Rice, you know, he came through when they needed it, and the Chiefs got a win. I mean, they would have been in a very perilous state. Instead, they were able to get it done.
Next up, the Seahawks. They beat the Titans in Tennessee 30-24.
You know, when we were talking about the 11oaksfarms.com/Ross Hungry Performance of the Week, it was hard to not make it Smith-Njigba. I mean, Smith-Njigba is an absolute star. He's already broken the Seahawks single-season receiving record. They just had DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett like the last 6 years. That is super impressive that Smith-Njigba is already at that point. A lot of people were wrong on Smith-Njigba and Ibuka. Oh, they're good, but they're not really high-end guys. Are you kidding? They're high-end guys. Trust me, they're high-end guys. I mean, Darnold, every time he throws it to Smith-Njigba, it feels like good things happen. He didn't turn it over. They didn't really do much other than Smith-Njigba. They weren't great in the red zone, but they didn't need much other than JSN. Meanwhile, for the Titans, this was a step in the right direction for Cam Ward and the offense. You know, that Seahawks defense is ferocious. Look even just what the Seahawks defense did against Matthew Stafford last week. And for Cam Ward to move the ball like that, put points up, DK, who, what a fine DK was by Mike Borgonzi, the GM for the Titans, really, really impressed with what that young man has done. Obviously, ultimately, the Seahawks get the win. That's all that matters, you know, on a game that 10 o'clock body clock game, the whole deal. But I thought it was a favorable evaluation overall, I would say, for the Titans.
The Jaguars, they got a vital win over Arizona, overtime victory, 27-24 Jacksonville.
Have the Cardinals won a close game yet this year? I don't think they have. I don't think the Arizona Cardinals have won a single close game this year. I don't remember them winning one. They have lost so many games by walk-off field goals at this point. It is insanity. I can't believe it. And this is a game you kind of have to win. I mean, you force 4 turnovers of Trevor Lawrence. You pick him off 3 times in the second half, and you still lose the game. You would almost think that that's impossible, right? I mean, he had the fumble too. Kudos, though, to Trevor Lawrence. He just kept playing, and he made the plays he needed to late, whether it was Brenton Strange or that throw to Parker Washington. Trevor Lawrence, I appreciate his mental toughness for not letting those bad plays get him down. Meanwhile, for the Cardinals, Brissett is like putting up historic numbers, 33 of 49, 317 yards. The problem was he was sacked 6 times. And they were not able to take advantage of the Lawrence turnovers. They needed to be better taking advantage of the turnovers. And it's not easy when he doesn't have Marvin Harrison Jr. out there. I mean, they have now lost 6 games by 6 points or fewer. That is unbelievable. For the Jaguars, if you look at the thick of the playoff race, man, they needed that one in the worst way. Because now they're kind of nipping at the heels of the Colts, and they play them twice over the next 3 or 4 games, which makes it interesting.
So the Cardinals are 2-6 in one-score games this season. They've lost their last 6 of those one-score games.
Okay. Wow, so they won 2 of them earlier.
Yes. That was early in the season against the Saints and the Panthers. But we'll move forward to a game you might know a thing or two about. Shedeur Sanders, he gets to win his first NFL start against the Raiders. 24-10.
You know, it was a fun game. I mean, obviously, neither offense was exactly dynamic, but there was a lot of eventful things. Myles Garrett getting 3 sacks against a Raiders offensive line that struggled mightily, in this game. The Browns' defense is just kind of awesome. Their linebackers are awesome. Their secondary, especially their corners, are really good. Their defensive line's good. It's kind of a shame that this defense is being wasted on more or less a lost season because the defense primarily won them the game. You know, most people are going to want to know my evaluation of Shedeur Sanders. Favorable. I thought he looked like he belonged. You know, he had a bad interception where he got fooled. He thought the dropping end was going to go out into the flat. He came underneath the curl. That happens. It's not the end of the world. He was not drifting backwards. He was not taking sacks. I think maybe he took 1 sack the whole game. He made some nice throws. The bomb to Isaiah Bond was phenomenal. A phenomenal throw on the move. I love the touch pass to Judy, who then inexplicably didn't know Jeremy Chin was coming behind him and fumbled. But overall, you know, I thought it was a very positive first start for Shedeur Sanders. I thought the offensive line really helped them. The Browns won that game up front, both sides of the ball. The Raiders are in a bad way. I mean, that was an ugly performance by the Raiders. The fans were booing, and they should, because you can't lose like that at home to the Cleveland Browns in the first start like that. You just can't do that. Don't go anywhere. Got to pay some bills real quick. How do you not love everything about game day? The passion, the noise. I don't care if you're tailgating, you're hosting people at your house, watching with your family. I don't care if you're watching by yourself. Choose Smirnoff, because no game day is complete without the world's #1 vodka. When it comes to the NFL, we do game days. Smirnoff helps bring fans together to cheer on their favorite team. Grab a bottle of Smirnoff at your local retailer and head to Smirnoff.com to find recipes of delicious cocktails perfect for game day. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff #21 vodka, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anyone under legal drinking age.
Philadelphia, they collapsed in the second half, losing on the road to Dallas 24-21.
Unreal. I mean, just unreal. Following along and then checking it out afterwards. It's 21-0 the Eagles. Their offense looks unstoppable. The Cowboys weren't able to really do anything on offense, and they had drops and issues and the whole deal. And yet, I don't know if the Eagles took their foot off the gas or not. Sirianni kind of denied that, but the Eagles definitely called things more conservatively, which, by the way, is their MO when they have a defense that's as good as this defense is, and they're up by 3 scores. It's kind of hard to blame them based on how they've played recently, But that doesn't work if Saquon fumbles. That doesn't work if, Xavier Gibson fumbles. I mean, and Jake Elliott misses field goals. That conservative approach, that will cost you. I give a lot of credit. I almost made the Cowboys my 11 Oaks hungriest performance of the year, of the week, I should say. That was the Cowboys just kept battling, Dak and the guys on offense. Pickens had a phenomenal game. Eagles DBs were dropping left and right. And ultimately, the Cowboys get a win that keeps them in this thing, which is what they wanted, especially going into that showdown on Thanksgiving against the Chiefs. It's kind of crazy how the Cowboys couldn't stop the Eagles to save their life for a while. And then next thing you know, the Cowboys stopped the Eagles every drive after that. The Eagles couldn't move the ball or score to save their life.
Kirk Cousins, he stepped up for the Falcons. 24-10 win in New Orleans against the Saints.
I feel like he had sort of a very Kirk cousinish win. It wasn't like he put up huge numbers, 16 of 23, 199 yards. But he did have 2 touchdowns, only 1 interception. He gave them a chance to win, even though he was under duress. They got decent production out of Bijan Robinson. Cousins was able to drive the ball down the field a little bit to Mooney. Obviously, the pick 6 to Justin Reed was very, very costly, but they still hung in there and win. The Saints, that's one that they're going to really regret. Tyler Shuck, I thought, did a lot of positive things, but then they would get down near the red zone, and they're calling these design runs. Twice you're inside the 10 and you get 3 points out of it, you're just not going to win a game, unfortunately, when that's the case for the Atlanta Falcons.
And our last game, it was a lot to a little, Ross. The Rams, they just took care of Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wow. Well, a couple of things jump out from that game. First of all, the Rams are awesome, right? Like, I think we're to the point now where we can all just say the Rams are an awesome football team. I've been saying, Jack, on the last couple Tuesday Even Money podcasts that the Rams aren't just the best team, they're the best team by a decent margin. And I feel pretty good about that now at this point because they keep showing it every week. Matthew Stafford is, to me, clearly the MVP of the league. And then defensively, they got after the Bucs. Let's hope Baker Mayfield's shoulder is okay because Teddy Bridgewater had to play in the second half after Baker hurt his shoulder. The Bucs have kind of been going in the wrong direction, unfortunately. Hopefully they can get things turned back around. Ultimately, though, that game was about the Rams stating their case as being the best team in football. We'll see where all these teams stack up on Tuesday's Power Rankings podcast, where everybody gets the attention, everybody gets the red carpet treatment. We also have College Draft Podcast, Even Money Betting Podcast tomorrow. You need the Niners to come through to have an epic week. Other than that, I think we're done here.
Thanks for tuning in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also check out Even Money, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.
Shout out myfrontpagestory.com. You want to talk about a win-win-win? Check getting a great gift off your list. Check making your significant other or loved one happy. And check getting an autograph from me or a video. I'll do a video saying whatever you want me to say, or I'll sign whatever you want me to sign and send it to you. myfrontpagestory.com, backofficescheduler.com, humanheadnyc.com, Sporticulture, Pizza Boy Brewing.